Let's get it.
Hey, it's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notification. We'll get all this stuff worked out eventually. But listen, we got a really good show for you. We got a mom back on. Something happened last week. I'm going to let him tell the story, but something happened last week right after we got off the show, and he could not be with us. So we skipped last week, and now we're back. We got Robert on with us as well. And we just need to take care of a little bit of business, and we'll be right back at it. But this is part 2, the interview. All right. So thank you, veterans and first responders, for all you do and all you continue to do for this country. We would not be the country we are without you. Gas prices are up. $3.75.8 nationwide average. It's up almost 2 cents a gallon from a week ago today. All right, CFA. Hey, listen, guys, this is a sort of a non-announcement type of thing, but the CVSA's Operational Safe Driver Week is underway right now. Right now, July 13th through the 19th. You're going to see a lot of police officers on the road. Okay, it's a 7-day campaign aimed at improving drivers' behavior through education, traffic enforcement strategies, and driver interaction with law enforcement. They are pulling people over, guys. I ran day before yesterday, and every way station pulled me in. Every one of them. I actually had the one stop me, wanted to see my cab book, wanted to go through everything, didn't inspect me, but just checked everything. So be aware of that. That's going on through the 19th, so Sunday. All right, or Friday, I guess. All right. Here's your news. August 24th through the 30th is going to be your nationwide brake blitz. Get out of that trailer. Make sure your brakes are all right. Picture of the week. Jan. This is his truck and trailer and setup. He's running equipment. We have Charles. This was actually Charles's first load. So congratulations, Charles. Glad to have you on the team. That's me. We ran a couple things this week. That's 20,000 pounds worth of tractor. And that's Richard running a minivan, or that's a full-size van, I guess. Yeah. And under the hood, I know I seem like I'm rushing through this, but I'm trying to get to this, okay? Under the hood, I've been running loads this week. Again, there's the 2 tractors, and we've been doing IFTA. So one thing, the other thing I've been doing is fielding a lot of phone calls. And let me talk to you about a minute. A phone call I had today. It was a guy named Gary. He was with the 75th Ranger Battalion, and he called me up, and I don't know why he called me. I couldn't tell him anything. He knew everything about everything, did not have a CDL yet, and has never driven a truck. But he knew it all, and I cut the phone call short. So, guys, if you already know everything, don't call me. I can't help you. I'm not going to, because you're not going to listen. If you're untrainable, I don't have any help for you. So, you're not listening. Go your own way. Do your own thing. You will figure it out. It's going to be costly. It's going to be painful, but you will figure it out. All right. So the next thing I want to talk to you about real quick before I get into this is I talk a lot on here. Let me move this a minute. I talk a lot on here about proper load securement, making sure that you're comfortable with the load you've secured driving down the road beside of you, or beside of your parents or your mom and your dad or your kids or your wife, making sure you're comfortable with that. And Mila was with me in this, and it had to do with those tractors. And I kid you not, if I hadn't taken the time to secure those tractors properly, Mila and I would have wore those tractors as a hat. So I wanted to show you this video real quick. This is off my dash cam. And I'm going to show this to you, and then I'll be right back. There's no sound to it, but I might be able to narrate a little bit. So hang on one second. So 20,000-pound tractors. You can see how they were secured, chain and a binder on each corner. Now this is me at 65 miles an hour. Look up here at the circle. This guy pulls out. I have no way to go left. I'd had to drop from 65 to 45 with that weight on me. It was a hard controlled deceleration in 5 seconds, 21 miles an hour in 5 seconds. Now, if your shit's not properly secured, that's how you're going to wear that stuff. You're going to wear it just like a hat. So if you don't know, you got to know that load securement is imperative to your safety and the safety of the people around you on the road. All right. So that happened to me yesterday, the day before yesterday, and I wanted you guys to see it. If I hadn't been paying attention, if I'd have had another few seconds of delay, I'd have run through that thing. Okay. So this is the kind of stuff that happens on a daily. And there was no way for me to go left, as you saw, because that white pickup was riding my hip. So, yeah. Good lesson. All right. So we got a mom back. We started talking about the owner authority or lease on. And we have Amon here, and we also have Robert here. I'm going to put them both on the stage. And Amon's going to tell you, not only is he going to tell you the story as to, what happened during his Hotshot thing, but I think he's going to lead you up and follow you into what has happened now since the last video. So first, let me welcome Robert. Robert. Hey, Robert. Glad you're here, buddy. And
thanks for having me.
I'm going to pick up Amon right here. There's Amon. And, Amon, I know you got a lot going on, and I appreciate you being here. We are going to actually give you the floor, and we're going to let you tell your story. The own authority or lease on part 2, the interview. So let's pick up not where you left off, but from the beginning, and go from there.
So, okay, I started Hotshot back in 21 with my own MC. Also, I was doing self-dispatching. 21 was great. It was a lot easier to pick up the loads from the load boards. Established a lot of good relationships with the fairly common brokers that are out there. Um, 2022 came with COVID. I did not do so well, and the reason behind that, one, of my location where I'm out of the Northwest Washington area, just to be specific. Um, and I what really closed me down was, and I firmly believe in it, was because I was self dispatching, thinking that I can do everything. Um, 2022, I ended up shutting my business down completely, closed everything out, sold the truck actually at a loss, sold the trailer, and went back to my 8 to 5. Fast forward now, this December of 2024, I decided, I did a lot of thinking, identified what was failing and what I thought would correct the failures. Okay. Started off basically in January, February, but instead of a hotshot setup, I went full blown with a semi 48 feet flatbed, able to scale 80,000 pounds. Um, Immediately within, so my first mistake again was self dispatching. Within a month and a half, I spoke to my family, my wife. I'm like, you know what? This isn't working out. I I told her, I was like, you know what? I'm doing the same mistakes again, what I did as a hot shot. That's when, Bryan, when I reached out to you, I think it was
Right.
already 2 months into this with my semi setup.
Three
But
months.
yeah, oh,
We're
3 months.
right
Yeah,
at
actually,
90 days.
yes. Right, 3 months. My first month, it was really still trying to get everything set up. I had some issues with the trailer, with the truck. Um, and so 3 months into it, while self dispatching, and let me tell you, these are the same brokers that I had spoken to back in 21 and 22 that are no longer doing business anymore. If you are a new MC, guys, um, I wanted, I would like to tell that 90% of the brokers who I was calling through the load boards, everyone was telling me, hey, you got to wait 6 months. You got to wait 1 year. And guess what? These guys are very, very strict now. Oh, you don't have an inspection. Sorry, we can't use you. You got to, Landstar back in 21, you didn't have to wait a year. If you're a new MC, they would use you immediately, establish their relationship. And I used to love working with Landstar. They had a lot of loads going out of Washington that benefited me. But now that's not the case. Even with my setup, able to scale up to 46,000 pounds. Guess what? Nope, it's not happening anymore. Um, Another thing I noticed was they will not negotiate with you what the rate has been posted. And I firmly believe, because I'm a new MC right now.
That's
Granted,
exactly right. That's
right,
exactly right.
right. Granted, I'm using the same DOT number, same MC, same email, same business name. Nothing has changed. And I purposely did that because I really wanted to get started immediately, thinking that they will have all my information. I would just have to re-sign agreements. Well, guys, guess what? That is that that just doesn't work anymore. Um, I think I'm gonna use. You go back 3 weeks. That's when I called Bryan's dispatch service. Um, I called. I kid you not, 37 brokers to book a load um, from Utah. Going anywhere. All of them said no. All of them. And these are some that I had already previously worked with. That's not the case anymore. It's 6 months, or you wait a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
try to tell people that, and they just keep getting them season coming on, and then wondering why they can't make it.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's not that you've changed that much; it's that the business has changed. We
It
actually
has.
had a fraud call today. Broker called and said, "We're is such and such your dispatcher, and is this your driver?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not. Never heard of." So that kind of stuff is going on today as well.
Right. Um, so now I'm back home. Just the reason we could not do this interview last week, guys, is because I'm actually broken down. My truck is in the shop at the dealership with a cracked or broken exhaust valve on a semi. And for those of you who are really thinking about getting into the semi world, and Bryan has actually, matter of fact, Bryan and I have spoken about this not too long ago. Actually, maybe a few years ago. That semis are just really, really, the bills are big. They are not small, and I am going on my second week. Absolutely no loads. No, sorry, not no loads. No income. I'm at the mercy of the warranty company at the moment. The day that we were supposed to do this interview, I was booking a flight coming home because the dealership said, "Hey, this is going to take a while. It's best if you go home." I was already at a hotel for 6 days and spoke to Bryan, and here I am. I'm back at home now, waiting to see how long this is going to take to get fixed.
So, what was the estimated cost of that broke valve?
Okay, so as we speak, it is at $32,000.
32,000.
$32,000.
Yeah.
Um,
See,
th-
now this is what I tell the people out there, Amon, and I know you've heard me say it, is when you get
yeah,
into a big truck, the cost of operation on that big truck is
yeah,
immense.
yes,
Um,
yes,
an engine, you can put the whole engine in a Ram 3500. You can put that 6.7 liter engine crated from the factory. The engine's 11 grand, brand spanking new, no rebuild, brand new, and then whatever it costs you to put it in. Say it costs 5 grand to put it in, you're
right,
still half of where you're at
yep,
just for that. So that's one of the reasons the cost of operation in the long run is one of the reasons I'm not running semis.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
uh,
think, I think a few people may think, well, why did I get into a semi? And and you even asked me, what was my thought process getting into this setup, guys? I live out in Washington State, right? So hotshot loads are not the greatest going out of here and coming back in here. I I thought I did my research. I said, you know what? I'm going to get into a semi. Yes, there are semi loads getting out of Washington and coming in. What I didn't anticipate was your MC had to be aged. Uh,
right,
three forget 3 months. I don't think people are looking into that anymore. It's more 6 months and a year.
right,
I quickly identified those two issues, and we're at a point now. Once my truck is back on the road, I'll be leasing on to DD214 here, um, because I don't want to give up on this. I believe in it. I want to be successful, but using my MC as of right now, I really do believe I won't be successful in accomplishing what I would like to accomplish.
well, we want to try to help you, and that's why we're going to bring you on for a while and let that MC age
Right.
and and then hopefully, you know, once you get out back there on your own, then you'll use dispatch and you'll
Right.
be uh, on a constant roll at that point, as long as you can keep the truck under you.
Yeah.
Robert, questions?
Well, even beyond the initial period for the MC to be acceptable and utilized by brokers, I've chatted it up with some other hotshot drivers that have just flagged me down, and we've had conversations. And one fellow in particular comes to mind that I think he's been a hotshot driver for about 5 years. And Amon, his story's kind of similar to yours about the self dispatch and stuff. I think his lifestyle desires are a little different in that he just pretty much wants to run local. But he did tell me that because he's not using anybody else to dispatch, there's periods of the year where he's just answering his phone and it's just junk call after junk call after junk call, but he still feels like he has to take them because there's always that feeling that he's going to be missing a good load. And
Sure.
when I hear that from him, I'm just very thankful that I did not try to do that. I just took a leap of faith, put everything that I had into DD214, but by both leasing on using the MC number and letting IGY6 dispatch me. And it's been, I really feel like I've reached kind of a point at which I'm kind of at cruising altitude, and there's a lot of things that I've had to work through, truck issues and things of this nature. But
Right.
to me, the magic in the business has dispatch, and then all the behind the scenes stuff that is going on at DD214 that frankly I don't ever have to worry about. I previously owned my own business. I now own my own business. I've worked for small businesses. I've worked for startups, and I do fully understand all of those things. And Amon, I feel your pain. I'm sorry you're going through what you're going through. It's not, that's not an easy scenario.
Right.
And I do think that because I leased on instead of trying to get my own MC, that I was able to avoid a lot of that heartache. There is still heartache in truck repairs and things, but not having to worry about who do I need to call for my insurance. When I do get my truck back together, how am I going to get loads? What's about to expire? Is my IFTA report done? Payroll, all this stuff. There's 3 or 4 top things about leasing on that everybody should really know. And leasing on, one of the very top things to me is bill collections. Bryan handles all that. I run the load, I get paid. And then if there is some kind of issue, we end up working it out. But honestly, I have been very fortunate and have not had any issues. I deliver loads, I get paid for them.
Right.
And that's really a really nice thing. The dispatch coupled with that makes the job easier than it would otherwise be. And then all the other administrative things, the IFTA and the insurance. And, it's a resource that you have. And Bryan's been a resource. Questions, some simple things, even like load securement, that everybody who's driving should be fully aware of load securement.
Absolutely.
And if you're just buzzing through on the internet and you see videos and stuff and you see these guys putting out trash and you're like, I saw a video the other day, I couldn't believe it. I think the guy was joking because he was like, we never strap anything down, we just go. I'm like, yeah, this is just a farce. I mean, it's absolutely absurd to think that and what you see sometimes what you see out there is unacceptable. It's not safe. And so having that lease on agreement is something that curtails and it mitigates all that other risk that you'd otherwise be taking on yourself.
Right. My primary reason of choosing a dispatch service was I was seeing myself not paying attention while I was driving, and I'm guilty of that. Yeah. And with that and the added stress of like, nope, sorry, we cannot use you. Nope, sorry, we cannot use you. Or trying to immediately pull over the next exit or rest area, which is 30 miles away, to complete the paperwork. These were all risk factors that I realized, you know what, I need the help.
Right.
Because during the daytime, guys, we have to concentrate on driving. Now, with a semi, let me tell you, it requires a full 110% attention every minute while the wheels are turning. Um, you will just never know when someone will cut you off. You don't want to be busy trying to look at the screen. Oh, let me grab that load, or let me make this phone call. These are high risks that at the end of the day is not worth it.
Right.
That's why I made that decision that, you know what, I know a lot of people will think, oh, you know what, I can do this. I can call someone, quickly book a load. It's when
It's
you're
not
out
that
there.
easy, is it? There's a
No,
lot
no.
to it.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It needs, because you don't want to be driving and try to negotiate a load, and at the same time looking at, okay, what is the route like? That's something.
Exactly.
Right. A lot
Exactly.
of guys, I think, don't realize that when you're starting off, and I'm guilty of that, and I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunity to start again, identify the problem, and this time moving forward, it's like, okay, you know what? Let me just, trucking. There's so many people don't realize you have so many back end work that needs to be done. The frequent emails, you can be doing that while you're driving. So I'm very happy that I made this decision. And within the first week, when I started using DD214's dispatch service, um, the stress level was gone. I was fully dedicated in driving, watching my load, and just concentrating on what we're supposed to be doing. It's deliver the load safely so that you know your actions are not impacting public safety. So.
Well, and I would guess that the allure of not paying a lease on fee and an individual who wants to get their own MC number, they want to self dispatch so that they don't have to pay the
Right.
fees that are involved in those things. But what they really need to do is look at everything that they're truly getting and look at the value add for what those are. And for me, so far over the past year, as I've done this, the value add is there. And I feel like it's a win-win relationship for the dispatchers and for the lease on agreement that I have. And so that's why I continue to do that.
Right. Yeah, I
Now,
agree with you on that.
we're going to allow questions, Amon and to Robert, if we have any. I don't know that we do, but you guys should be able to see on the screen what they are, and I'll read them out. So if we have questions, pop one up. Hey, Richard McClendon, what is someone supposed to do while waiting for an MC to age? Don't have to maintain active insurance on it? No, yes, you do. There's no way I could afford 2 insurance bills at once.
Well, I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah. Well, here's the one thing for a Hotshot. Number one, you have to realize Hotshot insurance is huge. Insurance companies just kill us. But what you can do is you can start your MC as a courier van. Okay, you can start it small. Tell them you got a courier van, you want to insure it for under 10,000 pounds and intra-state, only in the state that you're licensed in. And that will bring down the requirement. Tell them you're not hauling cargo. Yeah, you are going to need $300,000 worth of insurance. Okay, and you can do it that way. Then as it ages through, you can always expand your weight. You go up in a class, get rid of the small class, raise it up, and then move forward. Then you have an aged MC. You will not have inspections though. Okay, so that's the downside to it. You're not going to have any inspections because you're not going to be running. But yes, to keep your NC active, Richard, you have to have insurance on. So that's the only way you can do it. Okay. That's it for now. I've had several drivers do that throughout the time we've leased on, that they've kept their, they kept their MC, or they started their MC, they got their insurance as a intrastate situation, and then when it aged, they went and did their own thing. And I'm happy that they do it. It's my goal is to help guys live out what their dream is. If your dream is to build a trucking company, then you're going to need an MC. If your goal is to be out there and be a driver and drive, you don't need an MC. You can lease on with somebody. But so you understand, you're not saving any money by getting your own MC. Why? Because you're going to have somebody to deal with payments. Okay. You got to have somebody out there that's able to reach out and collect. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have to deal with insurance renewals. You're going to have to deal with your reporting, state HUT, state IFTA. You're going to have to do all the back end dealings with FMCSA and DOT. So those are the things that you're going to have to do as a business owner. Okay. Those, now it's tough when you're just one truck and, one driver, because you have to do it all. You're the bottle washer and trash taker outer and the whole 9 yards. Now we here do an adjusted gross income. How we work it, and our average is about 15.5%. Doesn't go much higher than that, and it goes lower than that if you only work a load or two a week. It'll be much lower than that. But we try to keep as much money in the driver's pocket as we can, and because I've always said I'd like to have a little bit of a lot rather than a lot of nothing, and that's sort of how we do it. We just take a little bit, do all the stuff that most people don't or won't do. Because if you don't do these things, they will put you out of business. The HUT will shut you down. DOT will shut you down. FMCSA will shut you down. State DOTs across, state DOT offices can shut you down for not doing what you're supposed to do. If a driver comes in and he gets a write-up for anything, that write-up comes into our office, we have to deal with it and get it back to the officer that wrote it up, showing that we know that has happened. So there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, guys. And this is, I don't preach this kind of stuff. And I hate saying preach, but I don't tell people this stuff just because I don't have anything better to say. I tell people this stuff because it's the way it is. And if I would have had somebody I could have leased on to when I started that I trusted, it wasn't going to take me for 30% or 25%, I would have leased on, because my goal was not to start a trucking company. It was just to give me something to do in retirement. Yet here we are. So things grew organically and naturally, and here we are. Now, Amon, you've been following me a long time. You should be able to tell folks out there that I say the same thing from beginning to end, and it doesn't change unless the situation changes.
Yes, that's very true. You started this video today by someone that did not listen to you, or he knew already everything.
He already knew everything.
Right. I've been following you from day one. And you have given good advice. You have, your process has not changed. I think we can go back 21, or was it 20 that you started I can't
20
remember.
20, was it 2021?
21, right?
when
Yeah, that's
when
how
I
I
started the
started.
videos. Yes.
Yeah, your advice has always been the same. You have not deviated from that. You have always emphasized safety. Um, I highly would recommend for viewers that are listening to this, guys, don't listen to a lot of the stuff that YouTube has. I am a good example of that. Um, Bryan probably knows that I was listening to a lot of people until I decided to just focus on what your advices have been. And truthfully, I'm going back again, saw my mistakes, picked it up really quickly, and it's important that you tune out a lot of the outside noise. Don't get too what's the word I'm looking for?
Distracted.
Right, there you go. Don't get too distracted, because this is a serious business. This isn't you're not going to become a millionaire overnight. It requires you to be a professional driver, because there's a lot of families on the road that we have to think about, you know.
Yeah. All right. Do we have any other questions? We do have a question. Hold on a second. Charles, what is the philosophy of DD214 toward using trailer space with partial loads versus dedicated loads? Charles, all we have to sell is space and weight. That is it. As long as we don't have a dedicated load, we will try to put partials on that load. Now there are sometimes the request is a dedicated or a full 40-footer. They want the whole thing, but if not, we are going to put more stuff on there if absolute possible. So yeah, that's what we do. I mean, you want to utilize everything you've got. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, that's correct. Dedicated it should be paying more money. Okay.
Yeah, and on that note, also, Bryan, that when you take partial loads, it does add a layer of complexity to your day. And while dispatch does do a tremendous job of getting things lined up, in the end, the driver has to make very good, well thought out decisions to be able to get from point A to point B, checking your paperwork, making sure your receiver is ready to receive you when you arrive. Because if you get to where your first load is and you verify, yes, indeed, it's a partial load, and then you've got another load book that you have to go pick up, yet the first load you picked up is on a deadline to be there by a certain time, you have to make sure that you've got all of that well thought out ahead of time.
Right.
So yes, it's nice to make the extra money, but you have to be prepared for the extra stress that's involved in that. And there's no
you don't
time.
want to, right. You don't want to take a load that's going to give you a service failure.
Right.
If this particular piece is going to have to be there at 9 and you can't make that at 9, then you got to have to say, hey, we need to, we need to not take this partial. We need to go ahead and just deliver this, and we'll work on it next time. But as far as the driver goes, the driver's got to understand that, yes, you want to make all the money you can make, but you don't want to booger everything up by either having to rush and make mistakes there, or having a service fail. So, yeah. Is that it? That's it? Yeah. All right. So, look, Amon, would you like to close out with anything?
Yeah, guys, think twice when you're stepping into this field, especially with your new MC. Now, are things going to change? I certainly don't think so. I feel like it's getting tighter. That's the best way I can put it. I was not getting the best rates. Matter of fact, I had to take some really crappy loads just to get out of a certain area. guys, we're looking at 6 months to a year now, and a lot of these brokers before didn't care about that. So if you're going to start this, I highly recommend leasing on, because you have your bills, and bills don't stop; they continue.
Yeah.
And yeah, so lease on is my advice, and yeah, that's all I have for right now.
Well, Mon, thank you for sharing your story with us. We'll be working with you this week with paperwork, and at this time, I'm going to just let you go and talk to Robert a second, and I will talk to you soon.
Take care, Mon.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck, buddy.
What you got, Robert? How's
Well,
your
right
week?
now I'm in Oxford, Alabama, and I'm headed towards Oklahoma tomorrow.
I heard Oklahoma and then Kansas.
And then Kansas. That's correct. Yeah.
I got you.
This was a pre-established two pickups and 2 drops because they were on the way, and that's, again, I can't emphasize it enough, the magic of dispatch.
Right.
Those guys are on it, and it's a big value add for me, hands down.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show and working with us. And if for any reason you should need anything, you know where I'm at. Pick up.
I got your number.
That's right.
And you always answer the phone too, Bryan. There's no doubt about it. That's when I first decided to lease on. I had kind of made the decision, and then I made the call to you. That's what I wanted to do. And when you answered the phone, that went a long way with me. And just, if you'd had somebody that was knowledgeable, that probably would have been okay too. But, you shot me straight. And, so far, everything that's been gone on over the last year has met my expectation.
Good. Thanks, Robert. We'll talk to you next time. I appreciate you.
Okay.
All right, guys. So that's it for the week. That's the interview. I hope you got something out of it. If you didn't, go back and rewatch it, and listen. Don't just let it be, ear fodder. You want to listen, and you want to learn your craft. This is our craft. By the way, you see this? I did a flat top, and it's grown out, and it's kind of crazy looking. So. But anyway, we're gonna cut it off here. And remember, love your family, guys. It's all you got. Love you guys for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. If you need anything, please reach out, and we'll do what we can to help you. We are out of here until next time. Thank you much, guys.
Jeans and a 4x4, cruising down your front door. I'm a postage pack and a whiskey neat, some dive bar right up the street. I'm a good old boy and a country star. No one else can go this far. Come on, babe, go with me, riding high, living free. Don't ask once and don't think twice, 'cause baby, I'm living the life. I'm a western swing on an old jukebox, a tailgate party in a parking lot. I'm rowdy rough, big and grown, I get it done all on my own. I'm a good old boy and a country star. No one else can go this far. Come on, babe, and go with me, riding high, living free. Don't ask once and don't think twice, 'cause baby, I'm living the life. I'm a cowboy hat, a ripped up shirt, tractor pulling out in the dirt. Hot cup of coffee with a cigarette, pretty little thing sitting on my hip. I'm a good old boy in a country